So gardening is hit or miss. Successes, failures, it's just the name of the game. And however, failures can also lead to success. And what I mean by that, let's say I lose a plant or two or five to the extreme heat in the summertime. I come across a plant that I just really am not happy with. In those situations, those go right into the compost and eventually they feed the garden. So, success. I mean, you win some and you lose some. And in this video, I'll show you there is a miss, but actually a couple of misses. But it's just opportunity for another success. So, let's do a quick garden tour. Hey, welcome back to the Spooky Small Space Garden. I'm Tish, and I'm a small space container gardener in the scorching desert of Phoenix, Arizona, Zone 10A. Let's do a quick garden tour because it's hot. All right, tepary beans are not doing too bad. I did add a few more seeds in there because I lost some. Same over here, like these are not looking that great. So I am watering these a little bit more just to get them more established. We've got a volunteer Tithonia here. Hollyhocks are still producing. All right, onions are starting to bulb. You can see down here, you can see they're starting to bulb, which I think I'm gonna plant these a little earlier next year. Potatoes, as you can see, are starting to die back. So once those are fully died back, then I'll go ahead and harvest those. I did have one planted over here that died back, and I did harvest it, and I got a nice little handful of potatoes, which I was happy with. So corn and beans and squash are doing great. These beans are looking fabulous climbing this. And as you can see, I've got a couple of corn cobs. One there, one there. Got a few more, some starting to emerge. And yeah, these are looking great. Loofah is really starting to climb. So it is loving this heat. So I'm hoping that's going to climb all the way up. And then over here on this side, we have our sugar baby. I couldn't think of the name of it. Our sugar baby watermelon that also has taken off. Right, moving over here, you can see that the tomatoes are going off. There's our first San Marzano ready to come off. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. Oh, look at that beautiful tomato, you guys. And that's not good. All right. First tomato. There we go. There's a failure. That's okay. We've got plenty more on this plant, so I am not worried a bit. Over here, our Chimayo melon is getting bigger, looking lovely. We've got some flowers popping up. Parsley's doing well. You guys, my stevia is growing. I'm so happy. That's all it needed was a little more sunshine, and it's doing great. And the reason it's getting more sunshine, remember that ginormous ground cherry plant? Yeah, I pulled it because in my last video I talked about how I'm just not a fan of ground cherries, and it really was taking up way too much space. So I pulled it, and in its place I put down some seeds, and these are heat-loving kale, and then over here I added some heat-loving arugula, and those seeds had no problem popping up. I've got some couple of beans here too. So I'm excited about those. Bell pepper's doing fabulous. We've got peppers on it, looking good. Lemon basil still going strong. And again, these tomatoes are just looking beautiful. They are getting rather tall. I am letting the oregano go to flower. No matter how many times or how much I cut this thing back, it just explodes. And I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. All right, over here, Brad's Atomic Grape Tomato, and I did try my very first one, and it was absolutely delicious. Get the beautiful colors on those. So I will definitely grow this every year because I do love grape tomatoes. Here's a failure. We had a San Marzano planted here that did not make it. I don't know exactly what happened, but it wasn't growing. It stunted. It was looking terrible. So I made the decision to pull it out. And I will be replacing that with a Jolene tomato. Over here, Poblano. I really should have topped this plant when it was about 6 inches tall, which I forgot to do. So it is kind of tall and leggy, but that's okay. I thought that I saw a flower bud on here. There were a few flower buds on here that dropped. And I don't know if it's because of the heat. Here we go, there's one. Because of the heat or what, but it seems to be doing okay now. I've got an evening primrose that is looking decent after struggling. Green beans, climbing a sunflower, and those are doing great.
Okay, you're getting a voiceover because my mic decided to die halfway through the video. So picked up at the worm farm the other day this Jolene tomato, which is going to replace the San Marzano that I lost. It's very heat tolerant, determinate tomato that apparently produces all summer, so I'm very excited. This amethyst basil is, from what I understand, a Genovese basil. Look at that color, you guys, it's beautiful. It does keep its color, so I'm really excited for some purple pesto. I will likely put this in a grow bag with another tomato because basil is a great pest deterrent and does well with tomatoes, and I think I have the perfect spot for that. So I'm gonna get these in and wish for the best. Okay, so I've got my hole and I'm going to add a sprinkle of worm castings, and then I'm also going to add a little handful of bone meal, and this is a good nitrogen to get this plant started off right, so I'm just going to kind of mix that in there as much as I can, and we'll get that Jolene tomato in. I've already trimmed off the first few leaves, so I'm going to bury that as far as I can in there. The more of the stem that I have buried down there, the deeper the roots, and so roots are going to grow right off of that stem. So I'm just going to bury it in there, push it down, get the soil around it, and we are just about ready to go. I'll add some mulch around that as well, but that's ready. So I ended up putting the basil in this bag with the first San Marzano, and it's kind of, I think it's in a perfect spot that it's going to deter pests from both of those tomatoes. So the other thing I got from the worm farm is some vermicompost tea, which is made from their worm castings, and it has all kinds of amazing benefits. And so I'm going to give my tomatoes and peppers a boost of nutrients with this. I am using my little pour watering pail because it's just going to be easier to pour than using a 5-gallon bucket. So I'm just going to pour that in here. I don't know if that's actually a 1-gallon watering pail, but I'm going to put in as much as I can, and we'll go from there. Hopefully this will make my tomatoes and peppers really happy. So let's get to it. Alright, I'm just gonna give the tomatoes and the peppers a bit of nutrients. Everything else in the garden is doing really well, and I know tomatoes are heavy feeders, so they're gonna get the tea as well as the peppers. So I'm just gonna pour that all in there. So I know that I have homemade mulch or yard waste in here, but I'm going to go ahead and add some more mulch because I want this nice and thick. Now that my seedlings have come up, I want to keep these roots cool, so I'm looking for 2 to 3 inches of mulch. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.